America is better positioned to lead the world than we ever have been. We have the strongest economy in the world. Our inflation rates are lower than other nations in the world.
Okay, quick fact check there for the big guy. The U.S. inflation rate is now 8.3%, which is higher than all the G7 nations that you said that in front of. So the question is, why does he keep lying to us about this strong economy? Same thing with Jay Powell. The Atlanta Fed just lowered its Q2 GDP forecast to negative 1%. So if that's right, it means that while Biden and the Fed chair have been declaring how great our economy is, well-positioned, we're in the midst of a recession. Joining us now is Peter Schiff, chief economist, global strategist for Euro Pacific Capital, and the host of Schiff Radio. Peter, you've waxed poetic about what kind of condition our economy is really in. It's worse than even I just stated, is it not?
Well, it's been in recession all year, so the whole time they've been bragging about how strong the economy was. In fact, Powell was saying the economy is so strong it can easily withstand higher interest rates. It was in recession the whole time. But you got to think about this, Laura. If we're already in a recession, because we had negative 1.6% in the first quarter, and if the Atlanta Fed is right, it's -1. It may be even worse than that. But we still have near record low unemployment, at least the way the government scores it, which is not very honest. But if we're already in a recession with low unemployment, imagine how much worse this recession is going to get when employers start reacting to the recession by laying off their workers en masse, and as the Fed continues to raise interest rates and as inflation continues to drive consumer prices higher.
Well, Janet Yellen testifying, the Treasury Secretary on the Hill, and she was questioned by, I believe it was Senator Rounds, and asked if there's such a thing as too much debt in the country. Watch.
In thinking about what is a reasonable level of debt, there are a number of different metrics that one might look at. Commonly, debt to GDP ratios are a measure that's widely used. Ours is a little bit over 100%. Which traditionally has been regarded as high. But we are in a very low interest rate environment.
That was from September, but now that our interest rates have surged, I wonder how she feels.
Yeah, and of course, the reason we have so much debt is because we were in such a low interest rate environment for so long, thanks to the Fed. And now that the Fed has to raise interest rates, it's basically pulling the rug out from under the economy, because now the debt is completely unsustainable, especially if the Fed actually raises interest rates high enough to successfully fight inflation, because so far they haven't even come close.
So, Peter, how much do interest rates have to go up in order for us to put the brakes on this?
Well, you got to get interest rates to be higher than the inflation rate at a minimum. So if inflation is 8.5, you're talking about maybe 9.5 at a minimum. Well, obviously, with all the debt that we have, nobody, including the federal government, can afford to service the debt. But we're not going to get a hold of inflation until we cut government spending. We've got to get rid of these deficits that the Fed is monetizing. And nobody in the Biden administration is talking about reducing government spending. In fact, all their plans are to spend even more money when they're supposedly complaining about inflation. Inflation is the tax that we're paying to finance all their spending.
Peter, happy 4th of July. We love having you on. Thank you.